I love nearly every single Contra game ever made. Contra 3 is one of my favorite games of all times, and I picked up Contra 4 day one. However, there is one game in this series that's severely underplayed. So, I am the Game Collector, and this is Second Opinion Games, and today I do the review of Contra ReBirth for the Ware.
Second Opinion Games.
First of all, I want to get this all out of the way. Complete spoiler alert here. I am going to take you through this entire game, level by level, and I'm also going to rain some pretty heavy praise on it. So that is completely out of the way. Most people never play this game. Most people never intend to. So just enjoy the review and take your time and focus on the mayhem that goes on. Okay. So, into the review. The plot, who cares? It's Contra. It's a run and gun, 2D, super awesome game. This time, no crazy tricks like in the first one where you run into the background, or crazy top-down levels from Contra 3. This is entirely 2D, side-scrolling shoot-'em-up at its finest, with a couple of little tricks in there. The game plays awesome, and pretty much just how you remember. This time, the screen's a little more zoomed in though, so your character is slightly bigger, but it doesn't seem to be a problem. Your weapons, you have the fully automatic machine gun, you have a laser that isn't absolutely horrible this time around, spread shot, and homing. And that's all you really need. Unfortunately, no crush gun or the flamethrower from Contra 3. Also missing are the bombs. However, I do like the fact that you could switch back and forth from your weapons whenever you want. If you're playing on easy and you die, well, you still get to keep your weapon. It is easy after all. If you're playing on normal or hard, of course, it's gone. Also, the level of difficulty ramps up dramatically from easy, normal, and hard. So keep that in mind when you're playing. And you're not going to see the end boss under the easy circumstance, and probably not under the normal one either. It does cut you off at two different points. So let's jump into level 1. So level 1 begins, and we're running through a spaceship up in the air, or at least very high in the atmosphere. And you might notice I'm not playing with a traditional character here. You could pick quite a few depending on if you already beat the game or not. You could be a little robot, or standard guy, or a Japanese guy, or Pliskin here, this snake. I have no idea where they got that reference from, but I'm just going to go with it anyway. The reason why I like the snake guy the most is because he says my favorite line from Contra 3. Let's attack aggressively. So, you just blast through this ship, and then you come along to some what appears to be facehugger pods, only what pops out is little braids. Kind of a tribute to Contra 3 as well. It's pretty funny. So we run right past that, and we reach a couple of standing forklift drivers. Again, tribute to aliens there. They go down very, very fast, and then we fight this thing that crashes into the window. I absolutely love that effect. There is still stuff going on everywhere, and the music is completely great. Matter of fact, the music in this game is some of the best music in any video game ever, and it's great 100% through. It also dies very quick, where then we are falling from the atmosphere to Earth on bits of our planes that we have to jump back and forth to and fight this huge snake thing that it alluded to on the spaceship. This is a relatively difficult boss fight, and I usually die here quite a few times. Even on easy, I tend to die a couple of times, although easy is extremely easy, and usually I can plow through the game only dying 5 times total. So, we beat it and move on to level 2. You fly in from the sky and knock the head off of this giant robot and save this nice young girl. On this level, I also want to show you the dramatic difference between playing on easy and playing it on hard. Playing on hard, you'll notice because it'll be this crazy robot character. Okay, so you start running through this stage that looks like the very first stage of Contra 3. Also pay notice to the little dog faces inside of the trash cans from Contra 3, only this time they're actually bats. They will take you out fast if you don't expect them. Also, there'll be some red guys jumping out of buildings, also will take you down very quickly, so be very, very careful of this. On easy, you pretty much can just run straight forward from start to finish and not have any problem here whatsoever. You come to the very first tower on easy, and you can just run up to it and take it out before it even gets ready to fire a single shot. On hard, you still have to maneuver around, but it is pretty easy as well. You come to the second tower, where this time it falls backwards, creating a sort of a bridge/ladder for you to climb on and finish out the level. Then, it's off to the ladder, where we have another seemingly familiar boss fight. Except that this time, we have to shoot the missiles before they get to us and turn them on the enemy. Whether you're playing this on easy or hard determines the speed and how many missiles are fired at you, but it still feels fairly easy, this section of the boss fight. We get to the very top, and maybe take an elevator going down now, where we have to shoot some guys out of the sky. This on hard is very difficult unless you have the right guns, and that's what this game is mostly all about, having the right guns at the right time. On easy, it's just super easy. Then we see our familiar robot friend, and it's time to take him out. Now, you could take him out really, really fast on easy, but here's the boss battle on hard, and normally, hard bosses have a bit more tricks up their sleeves and fire more weapons. However, here, this guy really doesn't, or at least I took him out so freaking fast he didn't even stand a chance. So, level 2 down. Let's check out level 3. Ah yes, the dreaded truck camel missile level, or at least that's what I call it. This level is full of trucks, camels, and missiles. It starts off easy enough, just pick out a couple of henchmen, and then you fight a robot ninja. This is a really hard mini-boss, probably the hardest mini-boss in the entire game. And this is where you are really happy you have infinite continues and can definitely finish the game, because it's going to take you a little bit to figure out his patterns, and it's also going to make you wonder why you didn't have a better game controller, because sometimes I mean to press down and I just keep on walking off to the side and I die. Very frustrating. However, when you do figure him out, he does go down, and you're probably going to have to fight him again and again, because the last boss of this stage is a little on the difficult side as well. So then, you're back on your truck, moving along, this time chasing camels and ramming into them. It's very distracting here. Also, there'll be guys shooting at you from the front, so be careful to not get too distracted from all the explosions on screen, and that really is the name of the game on this level. However, if you stay in there, then you could ride on the camels' backs, and you have to outrun the truck. Yes, the truck is now trying to plow you over. Eventually, you'll come to a spot where you can jump onto a missile, which then nicely takes you to another truck, where then you'll fight the missile-wielding boss of this stage. This is by far the hardest boss of the entire game, so take your time on it and really focus. Basically, shoot the missiles and they will fly back and hit the boss. If you do this enough, you'll see the boss's true form, and he is some type of flying robot beast with some type of underbelly of pus. I'm not really quite sure exactly what the heck that is, but it horrifies me very deeply. Basically, memorize the patterns and load every shot into him. He does have a few tricks up his sleeves here, so be very, very careful. You're going to have to try this one quite a few times before you take him out, but eventually you do. Stage 4 is the inner volcano lava level thing. Basically, you jump down this volcano-ish hole, and you ride down with some scarab beetles holding onto a pole and just shoot stuff. It's kind of boring for a while until you get to the very bottom, where then you have a shootout with a crazy lava monster. Again, not very difficult here. You'll probably blow through them in no time. Then, a bit of a side-scrolling level here. It's kind of fun. Very lava-esque. And jumping from pole to pole, it really never feels too difficult here. Matter of fact, it's a big step down from the previous level. But it still looks good, it plays fine. You come to the boss of this level, where he is just some type of huge beast pounding spiky ceiling above you. Little does he know that actually helps you. Now this boss can be extremely tricky if you don't know how to kill him. You'll probably die quite a few times. However, if you do make it here with the spread shot, you could just point down and shoot him at his face, point blank, and he dies in a matter of just a few seconds. So take the easy way out on this one. Level 4's in the books at record pace. Remember when I told you story wasn't important in this game? Well, there is a little cutscene here that kind of tells me it sort of is, and maybe I missed a whole lot, because it talks about one of the members of Contra dressing up in drag to infiltrate somewhere. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, let's jump into the last level of the game, where we're on very familiar territory here. It's a creepy looking level, just like out of Contra 3. You run and blast your way through it with relative ease as long as you have the spread shot, because pretty much all other weapons is going to make this more difficult than it needs to be. You come to a pumping heart, also a familiar boss, only this time it's at a crazy angle. Again, if you have the spread shot, you will survive this boss fight, maybe not even losing a single life. However, if you don't have the spread shot here, this boss battle is going to be really bad. But pushing forward, we then enter the final stretch. Oh man, here are these ugly little critters that we see from the game Super C, and this time we have to run on their backs while they're jumping at us and we're shooting them. It is really hectic and hard to figure out exactly what's going on here. Just remember, keep pushing forward as fast as you can till you come to the end boss. Again, this end boss looks a little familiar to Contra 3 veterans, and he has some lasers that he shoots, also dodging the crazy end creatures from Super C, and he even shoots out the crazy snake thing that we fought earlier. So this is the trifecta. If you do manage to destroy this boss, well, if you're playing on easy, it's game over. You win! Yay! But for everyone else, you suddenly get transported up to the moon, where you fight the real end boss, which is just this thing. It's not very inspired. However, the gravity effects here are basically just shoot the crap out of it. When you're at the first stage here, you can get some power-ups, which you're definitely going to need to beat the game. When it moves with the land to the left side is where you can get the majority of hits on them. If it's up on top or to the right, basically just try and stay alive. As long as you can hold to those rules, you will probably beat the game and unlock some more characters. If you're playing it on hard, however, good luck to you, and then you'll probably see the real ending of this game, which I am not going to show you. Contra ReBirth is clearly one of the best games I have ever even played. It had my heart beating out of my chest from start to finish, and I really liked the Infinite Continues, even though it made this game far too easy, even on the normal stage. However, it makes it feel just right when playing on hard. And hard might be a little too hard. I recommend 2 players for that, especially because some of those bosses can be a little tricky. Some of the tricks from Contra 3 don't seem to work, like mashing your buttons back and forth for better shot fire, and the game feels just terrific, and is now my second favorite Contra game. And that's really a lot to say, but that's just my opinion. Thanks for watching.